Hello and welcome to a Wireshark Quickstart, the short version. This is intended to get you up and running with the super basic questions about how to use Wireshark. So for this purpose I have started a virtual machine that's running on the inside on the host where Wireshark is running. So when you start Wireshark, there is a question here which is, which interface should I use for capturing packages? And it knows a lot of interfaces. Some of these are actual Ethernet interface. There's some Bluetooth here, some extra stuff, and which one to use. So since I want to listen in on the traffic on my virtual machine, I will go check that the virtual machine is connected to netting, which in VMware parlance is VMnet 8. So I will start sniffing traffic on VMnet 8. And you see that Wireshark is super nice, and Kali is also nice. It really does not send out any packages when you don't do anything. So if we try to ping something, you will see that the packages start appearing. We have some ARP request and some ICMP, and while we have packages in this amount of a super specific type, it is not obvious that you need to filter. But if we do something in our virtual machine that requires us to filter later, we start a web browser. And since Kali is Kali, we don't go online just because it's our web browser. Oh, yeah, some extra traffic. Apparently we are doing things online. So we have just started a browser. We haven't even accessed the internet yet. And then suddenly we have a lot of traffic, which is kind of interesting, and it tells you a lot about how browsers usually work. They do a lot of things behind the scenes where it connects to the world to do all kinds of things. You could start looking into what the IP addresses are if you like. I wanted to go to gitlab.com, and you will see that it really loads a lot of stuff in order to actually access this. So we have now been pinging while all this is happening, and we want to re-find all the packages. Should we let it finish first? It is doing a lot of things here. So we will just stop the packet capture, and for completeness we will just stop the ICMP also. So we now have collected a little less than 10,000 packages, and we want to re-find the ping packages. There are two ways of doing this, or more perhaps, but the easiest way would be to say, hey, I know that ping packages are ICMP packages, and then it will show you all ICMP traffic. ICMP is not necessarily ping, but a lot of it is ping. It's often ping, especially when we do tests. So we can see that we, from this host here, which is the internal IP address of my virtual machine, to 8888, we have been pinging, and we have been doing it. Do we have a number here? It's 93 times. Okay. We could also do a, if we remove this again, and then we have all the traffic, all 10,000 packets. Then we can filter on the IP address. So when we do testing, we want to generate some traffic that is super easy to re-find. If you are having a lot of traffic to 8888, use another server that you know is online, like 1111 or 8844 or something similar, so that you can separate the traffic easily. ICMP traffic and IP address 8888. And you'll see that I didn't press enter. Yes, and now we have found it all again. So if you had ICMP traffic and other traffic going to this IP address, you would see it all now. But this thing about IP.address, it will show you the data going in both ways. You can also do IP address.source, which means that only the stuff coming from 8888 is selected. So when you start Wireshark, you must set it up to listen and capture on the correct interface, and you must set up some filtering in order to find what you're looking for. There are a lot of filters in Wireshark. ICMP and IP are the ones I use the most because I do network debugging, but there are HTTP and TLS and all kinds, also all the protocols you've never heard of that Wireshark actually knows. Yes? So this was a super quick primer on this, and thank you for listening.